good evening, everybody. Rachel Bogle here at the WMBF First Alert Desk. We made it to Thursday. Hopefully you are warm and happy inside right now as you're joining in. I see a couple of you kind of joining on right now as usual. I have my phone up here with the Facebook stream going. So if you just want to say hi, let me know where you're tuning in from, or if you have any questions about any of the stories I'm about to get into, feel free to just get in the comments. Say whatever you need, just say hi or ask those questions. So if you notice me looking down, it's to make sure I'm all caught up on all the interaction here. So feel free to just kind of make this interactive and we can kind of chat throughout this if you're feeling chatty tonight. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it right now with some of the top stories we have been watching for you today, starting with this one. So take a look at this. A Myrtle Beach mom now fighting for justice for her son a month after he was shot in the chest by his own stepfather. So we actually first told you about this story in January when the Georgetown County Sheriff's Office confirmed 54-year-old Reginald Parker was arrested. He's accused of shooting 18-year-old Deshaun White, who you see there with his mom. They say this happened after an argument. So White told our Ashley Listrom that at one point after being shot, he didn't think he was going to live because that bullet, he says, came dangerously close to his heart. His family says at this point they're just continuing to try and really be resilient and try to fight to make sure Parker stays behind bars, as White, of course, continues in his medical recovery process, which, again, we're about a month into it now, and it's already costing well into the six figures for that family. So if you'd like to help, you can find a link to a fundraiser to kind of give them any kind of assistance if you kind of feel called to do so. You'll find that on this web story at WMBFnews.com. I'm going to pop myself back up here. Hello, John. Thank you for tuning in from Conway. Thank you for chiming in as well on Facebook. Thanks for sticking with us. All right, let's go ahead and get into another story we've been watching for you today, really following up on for you here. So we are learning some more details now about the circumstances leading up to that deadly shooting on Valentine's Day here in Myrtle Beach. So you're looking right now at video from that day of some of the activity, some of that police activity in the area. So a newly released police report states last Friday, 41-year-old Peter Murphy forced his way inside a home on Dunbar Street. So once inside, they say someone ultimately shot and killed him a short time later. Those documents also state another person inside the residence was taken to the hospital, but they are expected to be okay. However, officers have yet to announce any arrests in connection to Murphy's death. But what they do confirm to us, though, is the investigation into that death led to them actually filing drug charges against two people who I can actually show you right here. This is straight from our website. These two people now identified as Morris Ross and Norris Ross. With an N. So records show both of these men are facing multiple drug charges. Morris being held on a $200,000 bond, Norris Ross being held on a $300,000 bond, and at last check, neither of them have bonded out of jail. So I'm going to pop myself back up here. We'll have more mugshots in just a minute, as we always do. You can always depend on that over here. All right. But before we get into that next mugshot, because this is something that maybe you'll be able to help with, at least that is the hope here out in Darlington. So out there in Darlington, police are just asking for your help tonight in finding the third suspect wanted in connection to a deadly shooting that claimed this gentleman's life here on your screen right now. So officers are searching for 18-year-old Bryant Boyd. This is what he looks like here. So they say he was involved in the murder of 73-year-old Eugene Williams Sr. earlier this month at a car wash on Pearl Street. So two other suspects have already been arrested in this case, an unnamed 15-year-old and 22-year-old Adron Agbo. Both of them are facing murder and armed robbery charges, but again, Bryant Boyd is still at large. Authorities say he should be considered armed and dangerous. Again, get a good look here. You can always find this over on our website if you would like to get a second look or send this to someone who you think may be able to help. If you have any information about Boyd's whereabouts, you are urged to call police. That number, which you will also find on our website, that is 843-398-4026. All right. And then another story, actually an update to an investigation we have been following for you here on WMBF News. So, a lawsuit claiming a teenager endured months of physical and sexual abuse at the hands of his teammates on the Waccamaw High School cross country team. Now getting kind of a new update in that. So, there was supposed to be a hearing today that did get pushed back. So we're going to kind of get into why that is in just a moment, but to kind of give you some of the backstory here. So the school's principal, the former coach of the cross country team, and Georgetown County Schools are all named in this lawsuit. And in it, the De Oliveira family is accusing the school district of negligence, and also their son's former coach, John Jones, accusing him of failing to report abuse that their son went through at practice during the 2022-2023 school year that they say the principal was aware of. So specifically in that lawsuit, it claims Waccamaw High School principal Hunter Eady knew about it and had allegedly admitted to deputies that he knew hazing had been going on for years. So as I said, a hearing was originally set for today, but the attorney representing the defendants did ask for a continuance, saying that she wants to have the former coach and principal dropped from the suit, claiming there is actually legal protection for both of them. So we do know the next hearing is set for May 9th, so we'll be again following that, and we will let you know what happens next with this one. All right, so those were all quite heavy, so I always try to kind of lighten it up if we can after so many heavy stories. And this one is just a heads up for you drivers. So starting next week, crews with the South Carolina Department of Transportation will begin trimming the trees there along Highway 17 right in front of Brook Green Gardens. So that work is set to begin this Monday, February 24th, and is set to continue through March 25th. So about a month worth of work there. Crews were also told we'll be removing some dead and damaged trees as a precaution. You know, basically just doing some spring cleaning outside. Drivers, of course, are just being asked to slow down, pay attention, and just make sure that those crews are able to stay safe in those work zones. So just be aware of that again over the next month once this gets going on Monday. So just be aware. All right, gonna pop myself back up here for a little bit as we are getting into the forecast before we talk about what we are watching for you new at 11 o'clock. And surprise, surprise, it is still so cold out there. I know many folks have been sending in some pictures and videos of the snowflakes that they saw earlier today. If you have those and you haven't sent them in to us, it is not too late. You can always do that through the app, on the website as well. So you can just go to the Submit a Photo tab. We would love to see it. I've particularly loved all of the videos of we've had puppies, horses, of course, adorable little kids out there enjoying the snow. So if you have some of those gems, feel free to send them our way. You still could maybe see them on air tonight at 11 o'clock. So feel free to send those our way. But let's go ahead and get into what we can expect with the forecast now going forward. So as I said, we are in for another night of bitterly cold temps, frigid wind chills. Also, an extreme cold advisory is in place across our entire viewing area tonight as temperatures drop into the upper teens inland, near 20s along the beaches. So cold, cold, cold. Then factor in the wind chill, and then our feels like temps tomorrow morning will be as low as 8 to 12 degrees. So brutally, brutally cold. We are going to stay chilly tomorrow, as you can see here with the 10-day forecast. Winds, though, will die down. We will see some brighter skies, too, as temperatures rise really only into the low 40s for our afternoon highs tomorrow. But hey, it is good to see that sun icon there on the screen at least. But then again, you can also see we're in for another temperature drop into the 20s tomorrow night before we finally start to see that slow warming trend arriving for the weekend. So happy to hopefully get us going in the right direction, because I don't know about you, I'm good on winter. I'm ready for spring. I think we've officially had our fill of snowflakes. It's great to see. Let's keep it rolling. Just my opinion. All right, let's go ahead and talk about what we are following for you. Actually, before we do that, I forgot about this. With the bitter cold still hanging around for right now, I want to make sure people are aware of this. So one small PD city is really doing what it can to give people a warm and safe place to go. So we're talking about out in Marion. So out there, the Shannon Wilkerson Gym on Wilcox Avenue has opened its doors as a warming shelter, and that's going to remain open 24/7 all the way through Saturday morning, when that shelter then closes at 8 o'clock. So still plenty of time for folks if you need a safe, warm place to go. go, or if you need someone, that this might be something that would be a good option for them to just get out of the cold. The doors there are open. So if you'd like to learn more, get that address and all the information. You can find this story under the news tab over on our website. All right, now let's talk about what we are watching for you new at 11, starting with this one. So the South Carolina Occupational Safety and Health Administration, OSHA, is conducting an investigation now into a recent death in the PD. So details are pretty limited here, but here's what we know at least so far. So a spokesperson for the South Carolina Department of Labor, Licensing, and Regulation confirmed this death happened February 4th at 1706 Pamplico Highway in Florence. So a web address connected that address or matched it up to a former business, Florence Carpet and Tile, which Google lists as permanently closed. It's unclear, though, when it closed. But again, we're still working to get some additional details about this death investigation. Still not a whole lot other than what I have been able to share so far. So I'm giving you exactly what we have. So as we learn more, we'll keep you updated, of course, as we always do. Also new at 11, a traffic stop is actually to thank for landing a suspected North Carolina fugitive in jail earlier this week. So the Scotland County Sheriff's Office says deputies arrested this man. This is Calvin Platt. That happened Tuesday after they pulled him over along Devon Drive in the Laurel Hill area. And that's where they say they also learned he was wanted in Richmond County. So records show he's now facing new drug and weapons charges after deputies discovered narcotics and a gun during a search of his car during that traffic stop. And again, that is on top of the charges he was already facing out of Richmond County. Platt is now being held at the Scotland County Detention Center under no bond. So had a lot that we're working on for you today. Also, plenty more coming up at 11. We'll also have some new details coming through from Julia Richardson from her story today. So we have a lot to work on for you, and we have to be back on air in under an hour. So if you are able to stay awake with us just a little bit longer, I sure would like to have you join us tonight on WMBF News at 11. But for now, that'll do it for this update from the WMBF First Alert Desk. Have a good night. Stay warm. Hope to see you back here real soon. Take care.